think Nicole and a lot of the rest of us could really use a digital diet. Our first speaker could be the perfect solution. A self-described needy baby who successfully replaced her Saturday night Netflix binges with family-friendly board games. Please welcome sophomore Tanshi Jain.
Does anyone even remember the not-so-good old days when no one even knew about the Kardashians? People named their babies something other than directions on a map. Some of us actually ate our food before snapping it, and red envelopes in the mail meant a late-night movie binge session. Well, I sure do, but I wish I didn't. My experience with Netflix's DVD service was less than pleasant. The bitter fights that ensued between me and my brother over who gets to claim the next DVD in the mail would make even Tom and Jerry cringe. And even if I did manage to get High School Musical in the queue for the 16th time in a row, I'd have to wait 3 excruciating days before it arrived in the mail, only to find the disc scratched and unwatchable. Now, my brother and I have stopped fighting since. No, not because he got taken away, but because Netflix began to offer instant streaming. But now, more than ever, I find myself increasingly frustrated with Netflix. Having to watch the wheel of buffering spin mockingly just drives me mad. Now, I could take a deep breath and wait for 10 seconds, but that's like waiting for the next season of Stranger Things. Even technology is keeping up with my growing impatience. When I first saw Runpee, I knew I just had to download it. I mean, how could I go without an app on my phone that could find me the best time to leave a movie theater to pee without missing any crucial plot twists in Pitch Perfect 3? That's right, I'm officially so impatient that I can't even wait until the end of a 90-minute chick flick to go to the bathroom. Now, before you judge me to be some spoiled teenager, take a good hard look at yourself. Have you never lost your cool when the traffic light doesn't instantly turn green? Or when a YouTube video takes forever to load? They say, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Clearly, hell's never seen my best friend lose a 4-year streak after Snapchat didn't load in time. Have you never lost your cool when that movie night doesn't start immediately when you want it to? We all have lost our patience to instant gratification at some point in our lives, but we should not lose their ability to see clearly and set our eyes on the long-term goals. Stanford psychologist Walter Mischel observed the starting signs of instant gratification all around him and decided to analyze its long-term impacts. In a study he conducted, 600 children were offered a marshmallow, but told that if they waited just 15 minutes to eat it, they would receive a second one. Seems like a pretty easy choice. Maybe not, though. Only 1/3 of the participants were able to delay the gratification, and even they went half mad, staring at the sweet, delicious, and just out of reach marshmallow. Mischel conducted follow-up studies on the same subjects 20 years later, and found that those who've been able to successfully wait before eating the marshmallow had higher SAT scores, were healthier, more likely to be high-achieving individuals, and were generally more successful. What Mischel discovered is that the disease of instant gratification only worsens as we grow into adulthood. As we lose our patience so quickly to instant gratification, we lose sight of our long-term goals. According to my mom, I was a pretty needy baby. When I didn't get what I wanted, I used to cry so loud that the neighbors complained. And what I usually wanted was the most intellectually stimulating learning experience out there. Teletubbies. Jokes aside, as children we are cared for, coddled, given everything we could possibly need. We're hungry, here comes the airplane. We're bored, YouTube is up and running on our iPads. Now, as we grow up, we expect to receive everything with a single cry or demand. In other words, we've been programmed since birth to expect instant gratification. Now, I have a hypothesis. I believe that my mom has a second sense, which allows her to walk into my room right when I'm taking a study break on my phone, just so she can give her trademark, "You're addicted, you're lazy, what has the world's teenagers come to" lecture. But in all honesty, my generation's addiction to the instant has grown out of the revolutionary strides in super speed social media. Communication with our BFFs or with a random stranger online requires one quick DM, and entertainment can be ordered instantly by way of crazy cat videos or a fascinating personality quiz. Which classic breakfast food are you is my personal favorite. Scrolling Instagram, commenting on our friends' posts when they're sitting in front of us at lunch, yep, us teenagers, guilty as charged. But how can we not say that adults are capable of the same impatience that us teenagers are? Isn't it easier for them to post a quick happy birthday on their grandma's Facebook timeline than to pick up the phone and call her? To find a soulmate, would they prefer the quick and easy recipe of Tinder swipe right or the Lonely Hearts ad in newspapers? Speaking of newspapers, they're so last generation. I get by-the-second information about local and global events through BuzzFeed and Twitter. Information on NASA's latest space discovery to Trump's latest tweet is just a Google search away. Social media has made us all smarter, or at least sound smarter. But just being informed is not necessarily the same as being well informed. I learned this the hard way. Imagine the look on my mom's face when I proudly recounted to her the breaking news of the day. A woman had given birth to a 40-pound baby. No, she wasn't shocked by the woman's biological miracle, but by my intellectual debacle. Social media often provides limited content which is unreliable and simply sensational. Skimming headlines, skipping to more interesting parts, or relying on the 10 things you need to know today does not effectively develop our skills which are necessary for in-depth processing. Our focus on the gist of things to satisfy our need for instant gratification is slowly but surely stifling our interest in seeking the truth. We must correct ourselves before we lose the ability to do so. Are we really happy this way? Maybe not. Facebook and Instagram look at our profiles, over 1,000 friends and followers. When that notification pops up, we all jump to give the obligatory like to our friends' posts about vacations, their selfies, or their daily Starbucks fixes. But when was the last time we really sat down with them for a heart-to-heart? We have reduced our interactions with them to the lowest common denominator. We have become willing to sacrifice our strong, meaningful relationships simply because we do not have the patience to pursue them. Because a like, or better, a comment from a so-and-so we met 5 years ago gives an instant boost to our social status. It gives us a kick, a physiological high, a dopamine spurt, just as smoking and drinking does. The more we get, the more we want, just like an addict. We all need to take a good, hard look in the mirror and honestly ask ourselves if we are really happy. Well, I did. Streaming movies from the comfort of my own home nowadays, I actually once got nostalgic about the old days when we had to order physical DVDs from Netflix. On days when my brother, my parents, and I are all glued to their own personal devices, I actually wondered if watching Rambo as a family would be better than watching Gilmore Girls all by myself. So I decided to take action and ask my dad to cancel our Netflix subscription. Well, no, not really, obviously. But it's safe to say that my Sunday night binge sessions have been replaced with family game nights. And honestly, I couldn't have been happier. By just admitting that we have a problem, that we have an addiction, the battle is already half won. The next step is to go on a digital diet. We might need to break up with social media temporarily, like Justin and Selena, or for longer, like Brad and Angelina. We need to take a step back and define our broader aspirations outside the lens of social media. Our validation comes from within and not from the approval of others. Our happiness comes from real people and not virtual connections. We need to set our eyes on the long-term goals and not the short-term achievements. Recognize that a healthy lifestyle means more than a couple of kale smoothies a week. That truly engaging with your community means more than collecting service hours on a resume. And that changing the world requires a commitment that can't be ordered online. it won't be an instant success. But that's the point. We all need to remind ourselves about how the best things in life come to those who wait. Isn't it true that a sports team rests its star players in an unimportant game so that they can be their best for the playoffs? If we too learn to delay gratification, we'll be able to take our performances from mediocre to top-notch. Maybe if we stopped worrying about the release of the next trendy, ultra-powerful iPhone 16, or whatever number Apple's at, it's hard to keep count these days. And maybe if we stopped worrying about how fast technology could deliver happiness to our doorsteps, we might discover that the best things in life come to those who wait. That our happiness requires more than a single swipe or a single click of a button. And that the not so good old days, well, they're actually worth remembering. Thank you.